As one of Australia's most loved singer-songwriters and multiple Golden Guitar recipients, Sara Storer needs no introduction. And I'm delighted this morning to catch up with Sara in Cloncurry at the Gidgee Motel after a big night at the Sisters of the North Gala weekend. So Sara, thank you so much for coming all the way to Cloncurry from Albury to be with us and
Thanks,
perform.
Kelly. Thank you.
Sara, how many people did you bring with you? Because you seemed to have a big team.
Oh, we sort of we did a call out. It was hard to find people with such short notice, but we had some amazing artists: Brad Butcher, Lincoln Phelps, my brother Greg Storer, Brendan Radford, and of course your local guys, Mother's Second Choice, who teamed up for the event, which was wonderful. Yeah.
Well, it was a great night, and there's so much that goes into with your lighting and sound, and it's a massive production.
It's a big effort. What goes on behind the scenes and prior to the show, a lot of organising.
Not to mention, as a mum of 4 little boys, you have to organise them before you come, and as well.
That can be tricky at times, because this time it was a little bit tricky because I brought my husband with me, and he normally looks after the kids. So my beautiful sister came across from Coonabarabran, and she is looking after the kids, and I rang in this morning and everyone's fine and well.
That's good, and I bet they're can't wait for you to get home later today.
Yeah.
And your husband wasn't going to be left behind, was he? Because he worked in
He
this.
worked up here, so he's had a great time, caught up with so many people. And it was really nice actually, because a lot of the times I head off and wave him goodbye, and it was wonderful to bring him along to a gig and just to be a part of what I do, as well as he got to caught up with a lot of old friends.
That's so lovely. And Sara, I just wanted to talk about your family, because I know that you have a very tight-knit family, and just to go back a couple of generations, you have a history of farming in your family. So your grandfather settled in the Mallee district. He went to Brisbane and met a well-known fashion designer. And she left her career behind in Brisbane and her city life to move to the Mallee. So how difficult do you think that was for your grandmother? Did she used to talk about that?
Well, the story goes that Nan was doing very well, and she would somehow get the designs from London and would copy them there in Brisbane, and was quite advanced for Australian lady to be designing clothes. So she was quite up to date. I don't know what you say, but she was doing very, very well. And then met Pop, and Pop said, "Do you want to come and be a farmer's wife in the Mallee?" Which the Mallee, of course, is a long way from Brisbane and from city life. Mallee is northwest Victoria, and she had to make that choice, and she chose Pop, and she was in her 40s when she met Pop. So she didn't have. My dad is the oldest. Didn't have Dad till 41, and then had 2 girls, my aunties after that. So it was a big deal. Her career was taking off, and she chose the Mallee, and she cried apparently in a horse and cart, and cried coming into the Mallee, but she learned to love it. She just then, eventually said it's such a beautiful place.
And I guess humans are quite adaptable anyway. And if it was now, like, she could have had her career from the Mallee, couldn't she? Because things have advanced so much, and things are, the internet makes things so much easier. So it was so much more difficult back then. And then a similar thing happened to your mum, didn't she? Because she met your dad, and
she'd finished her nursing education, and she decided to take up midwifery, and she she loved it. And then met Dad, and she had 6 of us. So Yeah.
So that's an interesting story. When she was pregnant with you, tell me about that.
Pregnant with myself, and would ask the doctor, "Are you sure I'm not having twins? Because I'm really, really big." And the doctor would, no, feel around, no, definitely one baby. And I was born, and 6 minutes later my twin brother arrived, Ben. So they said, there's another one coming. Poor mum had to go through it again.
It was probably a bit of a relief that she didn't have a huge baby, but
she said she was
actually,
that's so good, because she was so concerned about the size of the baby that it kind of made sense.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lovely
And so when
story.
Dad arrived, because she couldn't find Dad.
Oh no.
Dad was down the paddock, so she had to drive herself to town.
Oh no.
Puffing and puffing.
Yeah,
she drove because she didn't trust Nan's driving. And she's hooning into town.
Oh,
and when Dad arrived, he got a surprise too. There's two babies to look at through the window. You know, it was back in those days.
Oh, Sara, your whole story is so interesting. Someone should make a movie about you. And anyway, as we go along, so your first stage appearance was when you were 7.
Yes.
How did that go?
7 or 8. People sort of noticed that I had a singing voice. You know, she's got such a beautiful voice, and I'd pick up on this. So I decided that I'd give Sunday school a crack and stand up on my own and sing Greensleeves.
Oh yeah.
Mary's, is that Mary's Boy Child?
Yeah. Oh
Mary's
yes. Yeah.
Is that right? Anyway, Greensleeves.
Yeah.
And I stood up in front of the community at Weeman, there where I grew up, at the Weeman Hall, and nothing came out of my voice, and I went, ah! I sat down and cried, and someone stood up and said, "Give her a clap." So I got a clap, even though I didn't sing, which was a really good start when you think about it.
Yeah.
Got clapped and I didn't even sing.
Oh, it's like going in a little competition and getting a ribbon for a participation ribbon. So so I'm glad your career didn't end then and there. So you went to uni, studied teaching. Is that right?
Yeah, Diploma of Early Childhood.
Okay.
So the little ones.
Little ones, yeah. And then, once you finished uni, you found yourself coming to North Queensland.
Yeah.
So tell me about that time of your life and
why
why you came.
I always had this idea in my head that I'd be teaching Aboriginal children somewhere in the Northern Territory. It was just a thing. I just wanted to do it. Yeah. And I got as far as Camberwell, where I ran into a friend. This was after uni. Yeah. Left Melbourne, thank goodness. Melbourne city life wasn't for me, and I was just very eager to get up to experience the north. And ran into a mate. We were going to Darwin to try and get work and, you know, do wonderful things. We just spent all our money on partying and just sightseeing and experiencing Darwin. Had $200 left, and the roadhouse there, Aidan Dace, who owned the Shell Roadhouse, said, "If you want a job, girls, come back." So we rang. We said, "Is there still a job going at the roadhouse?" They said, "Yeah." So $200 in fuel got us back to Camberwell, and I spent about a year there working and
flipping burgers.
I loved it.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have a day off. It was, which was wonderful. You know, there was nothing else to do. So
and it was there that you found the inspiration to write your very first song. So tell us, it was Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill.
Yep, so tell us.
Buffalo shooter, lived out the back. Harry Chandler, and just connected. Just loved hearing about his stories, about what he got up to as a young fella. I used to just be, just to think, man, you guys are tough. How did you live like that?
Yeah.
There's no way I could have done what they did.
Yeah.
And it was a really tough life. Not a lot of pay, hard work, and and I used to just be fascinated and hear all these stories about what he got up to, and thought, well, I knew a few chords on guitar, and I thought, I'm going to write a song for him. Just had that moment, you know, as we do, you know, and have a moment in life where, and then
a moment of inspiration.
And you follow it. So I thought, well, I picked up the guitar, wrote him a song, and sung it to him, and he had tears in his eyes, and then I saw the beauty in, or the power in song. Not only for the buzz it gave me that I could rhyme a few words, and I came up with my own melody. That then the singing that and receiving his emotion back to me, and receiving his response, I guess, and went, wow, this is a really cool thing. So I just thought, I'll keep writing. What else can I write about? And then that life, and then I moved to Kalkaringi. I got a job teaching.
So that was where you fulfilled your ambition to teach Aboriginal children?
Yes, the Aidan, who I worked for at the Shell Roadhouse, said, "You're not staying here for the rest of your life, Sara. Off you go," and handed me the forms.
So how far was Kalkaringi?
Kalkaringi was about 800 kilometres southwest of Darwin.
Right. So how far from Camberwell?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
A long way. Yeah.
Well, you get to 3 ways, which is you're back into the territory.
Right. Okay.
You can go straight up to Darwin, or you can go up to Katherine and across. But there is a back way through Mataranka. I think the back way that comes up through Toppy.
Okay.
Someone's probably going, Sara, you should know that.
So it's not just on the back step of
way,
Camberwell. You went a long way.
I wasn't brave enough to do that.
Yeah.
I go the main highway. So I know how to get there. Yeah. And I spent about 5 years in the territory, a couple of years in Kalkaringi, then a year in Katherine, then back out to Kalkaringi.
Yeah. And I read somewhere where you said that you learnt more from the Aboriginal children than you taught them.
Yeah, what
they gave you back.
It was wonderful. It was just really. I look back and I think, good on you, Sara, for taking up the courage to do something like that as a young female. Thank you, Aidan, for pushing me towards getting a job and making sure I filled in an application to teach in the territory. Thank you, Harry. Camberwell was a big deal in my life. It really shaped or gave me some direction, and why I ended up there. I think there's always a reason. Yeah. It was. I hold Camberwell in a little place in my heart for what it gave me, and although when I was in Camberwell, my husband to be, who I met many years later, was in the Mount Isa at the time. Never. We've been like that. We've been very close, but we've never ever crossed paths. So then when I taught in Katherine, there was an office in Katherine, and he often was in Katherine, but never run into him. And
see, maybe you had to get all that other stuff out of your,
out of the way.
Get it achieved. Have that achieved, all your achievements, and then
before
meet
he
him, because
came in and blew it all.
Yeah. Well, he made your life even better.
Of course he
did.
Yeah.
Sara, when you were up there, that's where you had the opportunity. You had a friend that nominated you in a talent quest. So
another person who came along and is still, we're still very close. Donna Paskey was her name at the time. She married a station boy out there, Greg Westerway, and Donna grew up in Tamworth, so she was very in the know with country music and respected it as a genre of music, didn't poo-hoo it or anything. And I said, met Donna and said one day, I write songs, do you want to hear one? And she's
because you were really shy, weren't you? You weren't out there.
Yeah, I was shy, I guess. I'd sing a song and then people would say, oh, that's great, Sara, and that was all I guess I needed for me at that time to write another song to keep going, and I never thought that one day I'd turn it into a career. I just was experiencing songwriting and teaching. The day that I was told by a record label on the phone at Kalkaringi, do you want to come and do an album in Sydney? I was like, yes, but I was busy working on, it was called a master's. I was wanting to become a better teacher, and through the principal there at the time, I decided I'm going to become this, I'm going to be the best teacher I can be, and started up a master's program, which was available at the time. So I just had no idea that, I was heading here, and then a phone call. 2 weeks later, I was heading south. I was going the opposite direction and away from teaching.